What's up, guys? It's Mr. Chap, and today what we're going to do is we're going to hack the 8th grade STAAR Science test. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark up these reference materials. So when you get your STAAR test, you're going to get this periodic table that we've used all year, and you're going to get this reference sheet. And there's so much that you can put on there that'll help you through the STAAR test, right? So you don't have to do all of this. Just letting you know that you don't have to do everything that I'm doing right here. Just do what you think will help you. Like if you understand, where your metals, nonmetals, metalloids are on here, don't worry about it. Don't put that on there. Save some time. If you understand how to do 8-man, you don't have to put that on there. But if you struggle with some of that stuff, or you think you might forget it, 2 hours into the test, because their test, you have 4 hours to take the test. If you think you might forget it, or you just want to jot it down anyways, then do it, and it'll help you out. Hopefully you can reference back to it, because it's a reference sheet, right? All right, so we're going to start off with this side. We're going to start off with the periodic table. If you have a periodic table, or you have access to a printer, you can follow along with me. You can mark yours up, maybe practice, and then once you get your STAAR test, it'll be you'll have some muscle memory. You'll have seen it before, right? If you do not have one, just follow along, and once you get your test tomorrow, then just try to do as much as you can. Okay. All right. So first thing I'm going to do on here is I'm going to use a pen. You don't have to use a pen. I'm going to shade in my pencil. I'm going to shade in my metalloids. So anything touching the stairs, starting at the moron at the top of the stairs, I'm going to shade in. So I have some stair steps over here. I'm going to shade all those in. And probably that one. All right. So you will not have colored pencils. I understand that, but this will at least help you figure out your where your things are. All right. So I'm going to draw an arrow up here, saying that these are metalloids. That means they share properties of both metals and nonmetals. So on this side, I'm going to say that they are nonmetals. And on this side, I'm going to say that these, all of these actually, are metals. All right. I'm going to mark out my periods and my groups. Remember, period, groups, and periods. Right. So my periods are this way. And they tell me my number of shells. And the way I'm going to make it easy to remember is I'm going to draw my shells around these numbers. So period 1 has 1 shell. Period 2 has 2 shells. Period 3 has 3 shells. 4 has 4 shells. 5 shells. 6 shells. 7 shells. You kind of run out of room right there. Okay, so then I'm going to also write up here that my columns are my groups or my families. They're the same thing. This tells me my number of valence electrons. E minus, valence electrons. The electrons on the very outside, right? So columns are groups and families, so groups and families go like this. And they tell me that my number of valence electrons. My valence electrons are these things right here. So I'm going to circle 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, all the way over here, 2, 1. I'm going to draw arrows to them. Valence electrons, that, that, all the way over there, all the way over there. Valence electrons. Let's see, what else can I do? I know that my reactivity is determined based on my valence electrons. So what I can do is I can say that these are very reactive. Those are my alkali metals. This is also very reactive, but I'm going to write that down here. And this one, that one right there, these are stable or inert. Stable or inert. And these are called my noble gases. That means they're not reactive at all. Alright, I'm going to go to the bottom so I can put that down. Groups 1 and 17 are highly reactive. Group 18 are stable. Just say it again. Okay, so over here we have our key for our periodic table tile. I'm going to work out 8-man for silicon. So 8-man is A equals P equals E. My A is right there. My M is right there. So my A, 14 equals 14 equals 14. So that means I have 14 protons, 14 electrons. M minus A equals N. Oops. M minus A equals N. My M is that number right there, 28.085. I'm going to round that, so that rounds to 28. You might want to make a note that if it's 5 or more, add 1 more if you struggle with rounding. So that rounds to 28. Minus my A, 14, equals 14. So silicon has 14 protons, 14 neutrons, 14 electrons. From there, I can draw my my Bohr model: 14p plus, 14n0. Remember my 2, 8, 8 rule. So my first shell, we have 2. 1, 2. My next shell can have 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 14. I need another shell. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so I think that's all I'm going to do on this side. Let me move my hand away for a second in case you need to take a screenshot or something. Okay, now let's flip it over. On this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this side up as well. There's a lot of empty space that we can fill up. Okay, so at the top, I'm going to draw my triangles. So we didn't go over this one in class because we didn't. This is 6th grade material, but there's a triangle involved here too if you want to try to memorize it. So you have a triangle. You have D, M, and V. And the way you solve for this is you cover up whatever you're looking for. So density, you cover up density, it's mass divided by volume. That's a good way to check if your triangle is right. They give you a formula here. You cover it up, and it should match that formula. So they give you a formula for density, cover up density, and then it should match up. Speed. Speed, our triangle is D Street. So again, to test it, speed equals distance over time, so you cover up speed, it should say distance over time. And then lastly, we have net force. Net force is mass times acceleration. Our formula is called the FAM triangle. bam. All right. I do want to note that this is Newton's second law. So they usually ask about Newton's laws, like which one of these is shown here, and at least you'll know that this one is the second law. All right. So big empty space. I'm going to separate it out into 6 spots. This part is really up to you. This is just stuff that I see on the STAAR a lot. Lunar cycle. So I'm going to draw a lunar cycle here. Sun, Earth, my moons. So I'm going to draw 4 and then fill in betweens. Always between the Earth and the Sun is it's going to be completely dark. This is called my new moon. Then we start to get some light on the right side. The light gets bright on the right. So we have a waxing crescent, because waxing means we're gaining light. Then we gain a little bit more light on the right, and this is my first quarter. We gain even more light, so it's almost full, but it's not quite full. And we're gaining light, so it's waxing. And it is a gibbous, because it's so big. So gibbous is so big backwards. Waxing gibbous. This is my full moon. It's completely lit up. Then we're going to start losing light on the right. So we're going to lose light. And this is waning because we're losing light. It's still so big, so it's a waning gibbous. This, we're going to lose more light. This is third quarter. We're going to lose even more light. And it is a crescent because it looks like a C. It's a waning crescent because we're losing light. Waning crescent. Alright, I do want to make a note that this takes about 28 days, around there, around a month. And I should probably draw an arrow. Right. Arrow's going this way. Something like that. Alright. One more thing that I do want to add here is my tides. We went over tides, and we have spring tides and neap tides. Spring tides are really high tides, really low tides. Neap tides are just pretty flat. And so we need to remember spring equals straight. So if it makes a straight line, so my full moon and my new moon make a straight line, this is spring equals straight. And then up and down, they make a 90-degree angle. So my first and third quarter, neap equals 90 degrees. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my seasons. So I'm going to draw my sun in the middle. I'm going to draw my earth at different positions. And I'm going to draw my poles. Remember, it will not always look like this. All right. Sometimes they'll be angled this way. Sometimes they'll be angled this way. And so you have to be careful. And what I do is I tell you guys to draw your arrows. So arrows on the North Pole, because we live in the Northern Hemisphere, North Pole. And if it's angled away from the sun, so the summer and winter are going to be always over here, either here or here. If it's angled away from the sun, we're getting indirect sunlight. So this is summer, or sorry, this is winter. It's because we're getting indirect sunlight. It's cold, so we have winter. And since we're going this way, over here we have summer. It's angled towards the sun, right there. Summer. Up here we have between winter. After winter, it gets warmer and warmer and becomes spring. Then summer, and then after summer it starts getting cooler, and it's fall. Okay. So last thing I want to write on here is that during summer we have long days and short nights. So I'm going to write long days And then over here I have long nights in winter. Alright, right here I'm going to draw my my plate boundaries. So I'm going to draw my arrows going together. This is called convergent. Convergent is colliding. We get mountains. Another form of a specific form of convergent boundaries is a subduction zone, when one goes under the other. Subduction. And this gives us trenches and volcanoes. We have them going apart. It's called divergent. They're dividing. And this gives us mid-ocean ridges and rift valleys. Lastly, this one is always on the STAAR test. This is transform. This gives us earthquakes. Earthquakes. All right. This one over here. The rest of them, like this, will get you pretty good. Like if you do everything like I did it, it should get you. You should be passing. The rest of them can just be whatever you want to write. But this is some stuff that I think is useful. All right. So way back at the beginning of the year, we covered ecology. So we're going to write biotic factors. Biotic factors are living. Abiotic factors, non-living. From 7th grade, prokaryotic, difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic means no nucleus. They're things that are very, single-celled organisms, so no nucleus. So the way to remember that is pro means no. Pro means no nucleus. Eukaryotic. This is more advanced stuff, and the way you remember this is eukaryotic is like you and me. Eukaryotic is you. Reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Reproduction is 2 parents. And then asexual is just 1 parent. And sexual reproduction gives us diverse offspring. All right, over here, we went over this year, body systems. And a lot of them are self-explanatory, skeletal system, stuff like that. It's your skeletons, or your bones. But some of them are hard to remember, and I'm going to write them over here. The endocrine system. Endocrine. So these control when you cry, and so you cry because of your hormones. So endocrine system. This has our hormones and our glands, like your pituitary gland, stuff like that. Okay, integumentary system. Integumentary. This is just our skin. It's a lot of letters to just mean our skin. All right, excretory. Excretory system. It's where our waste, it gets rid of the waste from our body. It's where it exits. So excretory exits. In my last square, I'm going to go over some just basic cell stuff, different parts, organelles from the cell. So I'm going to write cells, the mitochondria, is the powerhouse of the cell. That means it creates energy. Vacuole stores water and food, mostly water. Nucleus stores genetic material. And lastly, I want to we're still talking about organelles, but what's different between plants and animal cells? And plants have cell walls and chloroplasts. So the cell walls protect them and give it rigidity. The chloroplast is what creates photosynthesis, and we don't need photosynthesis, so we don't have that. So that's it. So let me zoom out. And if you can get every single one of these on here, which I don't expect you to, but if you could, you're going to ace that STAAR test. If you get most of it on there, you're going to ace that STAAR test. You get half of it on there, I'm pretty sure you're still going to ace that STAAR test. Just do whatever you can, whatever you think will help you out, okay? If you're 100% sure that you're an expert on lunar cycle, you don't have to write it if you don't think you need it. But if you think you need it, go ahead and write it. Go ahead and draw it. The test is long. You're going to have a lot of questions, about 42 questions, and your brain just might turn to mush at some point, and having a reference is going to be nice. All right, so that's it. This is hacking the 8th grade STAAR test. Good luck, guys. Bye.